So welcome. I am re-hosting a workshop I did on Monday so that I can just re-record it because the recording went wrong. So a big welcome for those of you who don't know me. I am Candice Dick, and I'm a wellness advocate for dōTERRA essential oils. Let me just share my screen. But it's a real pleasure. I'm going to try and keep this succinct, not just because I'd like it to be easy to watch, but because I need to pick up my son from school. So here we are. We're going to be chatting today about ways to feel better naturally. And what is my background in that? I have spent 10 years or longer now, 13 years teaching emotional intelligence. That is how we are smart with how we feel. And feelings are literally a physiological, hormonal response in our body to things that are going on. So how we engage with our feelings, an expression I like to use, although not scientific, comes from Raphael Kushner and is emotions are a message from the heart delivered to the mind through sensations in the body. So they're very physiological. Our heart races, we get butterflies in our tummy, we get a stomach in our knot, we get tense necks, we hold our jaw. So we'll chat a little bit in that, but just very briefly. And then I actually am an ageless grace facilitator, which is a form of a way to keep ourselves young through exercise. Done in a chair that is playful and fun, and so it's an incredible way of aging with movement. And I'm also a NEAR teacher, which is originally non-impact aerobics, but really is conscious or fusion exercise. And then I'm now a wellness advocate for dōTERRA, which has been such a gift to my life. I created something a long time ago called The Nature of Emotions, which is all about a set of cards and using nature as a way to explore things we are feeling. These are small cards. These are just usually handheld, the set. I see there's not one on my desk in this moment. And so dōTERRA, being from nature, has just felt like this way of bringing nature into my life. And certainly Nikki Aylward, who I'll share a little bit about, but has introduced me to the oils, always talks about, we think maybe essential oils and these kind of things are a fad, but actually for hundreds of thousands of years, nature has been how we have taken care of health and wellness. And it's actually this time where we continue to remove ourselves from nature or disconnected that is more the fad. So let's dive in to what we're going to talk about today. And really, I'm going to speak about three things. Habits of health. So we're going to just speak into a little bit around what are healthy habits. And that is different for different people, but there are core foundational principles that affect it. We're going to speak about a spring shed, which is upcoming on the 30th of September. I'm not hosting it, but I am joining it. And that is a lot about just an opportunity to reset and shed winter and some of the habits we would rather, or one of the habits, I'm someone who believes in going slow. And this can be done in community with support in bite-sized bits. It'll be my first time, so I'm speaking on what I've heard rather than lived experience, but I'm looking forward to being in community. I have seen it add value in helping keep momentum and commitment to new habits. And then finally, I'm going to be speaking about the essential oils and specifically our top 10, which are designed to be able to address around 80% of the things that happen in our home and family. So yay for that. So in dōTERRA, they have a wellness pyramid, and in that they acknowledge oils support us, but they are not the foundations for health. The foundations for health are nutrition. Is our body getting the nutrition it needs? Is it absorbing the nutrition it digests? And sadly, the truth is food is where that belongs. It should come from our food. And does it? That's a different question. Depends if you're a farmer growing your own or in your house, and your food, you're secure that the ground's nutritious, the soil's nutritious. And then there's movement. I love that it's movement and not exercise. I'm going to get into stories, and that's going to make this a lot longer, but I have to just share. I remember hearing a story long ago about a whole lot of maids in a kind of hotel environment, and did a study on them, and actually the exercise they did in cleaning, in emptying rubbish bins and making beds, and was a lot, and they picked that up, and they told half, they left the control group carrying on doing it, but half of them, they made them aware, like you are vacuuming and making them aware of the movements as exercise every day, and suddenly saw this reduction, increase in weight loss and total change about how their bodies responded when their minds became aware that they were doing movement among their daily lives. So this doesn't have to be the gym, but where are you moving, and are you doing it consciously and intentionally? Metabolism links a lot to glucose spikes. Are we metabolizing in a way that is healthy? And these are all the foundations for health, our lifestyle. And then rest. I feel stupid even saying this, but research shows that sleep matters. Yes, who knew? So the recognition that our bodies need to rest to heal, to be in a state of being able to recover and integrate what happens in our lives. And then managing our stress levels. Like, stress is part of life. Actually, there are aspects of it that are required, but is it healthy, and are we navigating it well? Reducing toxicity, that's a lot about the world we find ourselves in, plastics, toxins, the air we breathe, the water we drink, is it healthy? And then we come to the place of medical care, informed self-care. Do we know what it means to take care of ourselves well? Are we somebody who is entirely tuned out of what our body's needs are, or are we ensuring that we have habits that take care of us, and then proactive medical care? When we need help, are we getting it? So those are dōTERRA's wellness pyramid, they call it. I couldn't then just leave it at that, because mental health is such a real part of health these days, and there's a real focus on our state of our mental health. This mindful or healthy mind platter comes from Dr. Dan Siegal. He is, we know him as the father of interpersonal neurobiology. Big word. I say the science of Ubuntu, but how is our brain shaped in relationship with others? Turns out how we interact with each other deeply affects who we are and how our brain state. And so here we see an overlap of there's 7 things. I'm just going to tell you what they are. Sleep time is obvious, physical time, movement. Focus time is actually time, which with TikTok and all these things we deal with all the time. Focus time is time where we actually are away from distractions, and it might be doing a spreadsheet, it might be doing some reading, but it's deep time. It's time where you actually are fully present and focused in on a task. Time in is a lot about reflection. Do we reflect on our days? This is, I believe, is where wisdom sits. Do you spend time peacefully actually reflecting on our lives? Maybe it's spiritual, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's time in with God, or whoever you name God to be. And then downtime, that's rest or downtime, relaxing. Playtime, connecting time. And I'm going to share with you, I've actually connected them with the pyramid. So you can see there's a lot of overlap. There we have sleep time in downtime, all under rest and managed stress. Physical under movement. Focus time, I wasn't sure where to put, but connecting time. I think a big thing here is we sometimes think, where do we find time for all these things? I think even if it's not daily, at least weekly. And connection time, maybe your meal time, It might be how you drive to work or school each day with your kids. Do you spend time actually connecting? And then playtime can also happen in how we engage with that. Connecting time could be connected to exercise. Are you doing it with other people? If you've got exercise you love, it may be playtime. So there are ways that we can be conscious and intentional about integrating the two. I want to ask for questions, but since I'm recording without you, feel free to WhatsApp me questions around this. But these are habits, like either we were gifted a family or we've made a point of introducing healthy habits into our family, but these deeply influence how we age. And as they say, if we live well or if we die well, because you see a lot of aging that leaves people really not living their best life as they age. And these habits of health deeply influence how we age. So here, from what I know, I've integrated here in the middle is something that actually affects all of these things, and that is our nervous system. So in emotional intelligence, we talk about the security guard of the brain. So our brainstem is a part of us that either feels safe or doesn't. And depending how we raised, we learn to pay attention to this or we don't. Maybe we had a family without boundaries. Maybe actually our own needs weren't met. So we learned to just shut down what our body's needs were. And this is where our body, Gabor Mate has a book, it says when the body says no. So you may say, I'm fine. And your body's going, no. And then we tend to see over time, our body shouts at us and lets us know that it's not your fault, but the truth is it's felt in danger and under huge duress for a long time. And so I'm just going to share with you here from a book, Heal Your Nervous System, by Dr. Nia Pazler. And I'm still going through this, but whoa, there's beautiful information in here. And on my own journey, I have seen the power of calming the nervous system. And you see again how much this speaks into what we've spoken about. A regulated nervous system, I like the idea, is like an elastic band. It deals with stress and it stretches well and it comes back. But what happens with a dysregulated nervous system is we keep it stretched all the time until that elastic band snaps easily, or it's, you know, when elastic's got that stretchy marks on. And so ideally, it's not that your body doesn't have stress, it's that it can stress and come back, and it can regulate and come back. And so your body has an ability to recover, to heal. So what we see here is lack of movement, poor sleep, processed foods, sugary drinks, glucose spikes, chronic stress, alcohol, no sun exposure, rumination. Rumination being, if you don't already know, the experience of our mind behaving like a hamster wheel. Same thing over and over. Disconnection, so no sense of being seen or seeing people. Chaotic and messy spaces. So a space like, I don't know if you can see it, it doesn't help, but order, and here you see it, uncluttered spaces. And I've certainly felt that, where I realized spaces make a difference to how our mental space and our being is. Poor water and salt intake. I'm reading these because ideally I want you to read them, but if you're listening, then I'm giving you a read. So sources of nervous system regulation that are movement, sunlight, nourishing food, adequate water, salt, connection, nature, awareness, paying attention, being conscious of where we are. It means being present makes a difference to how we experience whatever we're going through. Minimalistic, uncluttered space, music, good sleep, curiosity, and controlled breathing. Oh, that makes me feel just like I want to breathe out. Oops. So this is an entire, there are courses offered, but it's a powerful recognition. And I feel like this is a crossover between our health, our mental mind space, how we go about our lives, and the habits we choose. So we want to understand what it takes to regulate our nervous system. And here you see us speaking to that awareness, that we have a relationship between our habits and awareness. Just like the story I mentioned of the maids in whose job it was to clean the hotel, that as soon as there was awareness, you see a change in how their habits actually interact and what happens in their body. But it's important to recognize habits Habits are something we repeated over and over and over again. So in terms of neural pathways, if you imagine your brain, and every time you do something or you think something, it shoots a, I like to think of it, it's like a forest, and you walk a path through there. And as that goes, that path goes from like all prickly and trying to break through the bush to like you see a cattle track, and you walk and it's a trodden path, and then it becomes a bigger road, and ultimately becomes a super highway. And so to understand habits, to just break a habit is really, it's a miraculous thing. That's what I'm going to say. But to recognize that we don't just toss a habit, I want to change that, and expect it to, it's a journey, it's a process. And so awareness is important. What's around the habits, what trigger the habits. Sometimes I can tell my stress levels by how I reach for food, as opposed to the reality of going, oh, I'm stressed. I'm like, why are you eating like that? And it's like, okay, actually my system's dysregulated. And so as we learn to know ourselves and how we engage with our habits, they become easier and easier to change. So we've got to coax them down the stairs one step at a time. And when we fail at changing it, we don't like, oh, give up. Like they say, you brush your teeth every day, and if you skip a meal or a time, you don't go, oh, well, I'm never going to achieve that. You go and brush your teeth. And so to give ourselves grace as we create healthier habit choices. So here I want to speak to how does dōTERRA fit into this. I'm learning to say dōTERRA as opposed to dōTERRA, because my son was listening to other people. He goes, you say it wrong, Mom. So I'm corrected in my home if I ever say dōTERRA. dōTERRA. What makes them pretty? I do think of the picture with the bee there is pretty. But what I'm going to speak about around the essential oils, I'm speaking regarding their essential oils, which are certified pure therapeutic grade. dōTERRA was actually founded by some people who had been involved in essential oils for a long time, and their commitment was purity. And so there is no regulatory body for essential oils, and so they actually set up an independent body to certify and test, well, not certify, but to test every bottle. So all the pure oils actually have a number on that you can go to Source to You and see the testing results. And so purity really does matter. And the reason that is with contaminants, what's that like, sprays, pesticides, is actually a testing. Also, essential oil industry is very closely linked to perfume industry. Actually, essential oils got explored when a perfumerist, and I don't know his name, was in a laboratory doing stuff, and he burnt his hand and stuck it into a vat of lavender, and oops, that wasn't meant to happen. And the results of healing of that burn was so phenomenal that this field arrived, if you want, or began to be researched. And so really that purity makes quality. It makes it pricier, and that is also made pricier by the sustainability angle, which I feel shows the values of dōTERRA, is that literally they are doing, all the oils are bought direct from the growers. The intention is to try and help that wealth stay with the people who grow it and harvest there, and not so that generational wealth can be created for families and people who otherwise wouldn't be given the opportunity. And so the quality of the oils allows us to ingest many of them, not all. It allows us to put on our skin, knowing we are literally putting things from nature on our skin without additives or changing or chemical structures being manipulated. And that allows for a very different experience. And we see that with people who experienced in essential oils. They really can immediately begin to see the difference. And actually for myself, I've had at least 3 or 4 people recently just say, people notice the difference in them. And that comes from that purity. So here I want to speak into the top 10. So you can buy these individually, or if in dōTERRA we have a home essential or family essential. So the home essential comes in a 10 15 milliliter, or there is a home essential kit, which is a smaller one, and that is comes in 5 milliliter bottles. And this is really a kit for those people who have a family or yourself want to be able to really use for the oils, not from all the levels on the pyramid. And here you see our darling friend Dom, who is a leader of our team, says, pick one you don't need, I dare you. So we've got peppermint, which is all things cooling, calming, focus. I have peppermint in my spray on my desk. Oh, that is so refreshing. I actually have to do it again. It's just been feeling like a struggle day. There we go. It's good for tension. And I've just added a few drops to water, actually, and I keep that as a breath freshening focus. Just a real pleasure to use. And so peppermint's great for energy, for stomach, all those things. Oregano is phenomenal at immune system, skin. It deals with all. It's really our powerhouse in being able to kill viruses and bacteria. So oregano, well, not oregano, sorry, that prompts the thought. In the essential, I didn't know this till I was involved in essential oils. Biology and science was not my subject favorite. But our cells are actually covered by an oily membrane. Apparently, that's why antibiotics can't penetrate the oil. Viruses can, which is why oils become incredibly powerful, because they are an oil, and so they can integrate with the oil. And so a lot of the things we engage with can support us irrespective of if we have a bacterial or a viral infection. So with colds and flu and that sort of things, they are powerhouse. Tea tree. I know this was in my home, although I didn't think of myself as I had tea tree in my bathroom. We'd drop it in our bath. Amazing oil, really incredible for the skin. Lemon, all things cleansing. So we talk about lemon in the mornings as our internal shower. Also phenomenal. Somebody was saying to me yesterday, it's alkalining. So the minute you're getting sick, having a bit of lemon, beautiful. We've got lavender for calming. Oh, all things calming. I had a very late night working last night for something I was doing. This morning I woke up and took 3 drops of pure lavender. Again, please, this is only with dōTERRA. It's oils that I can speak for. I took this internally, and it's definitely making me not feel as ratty or irritable. And then we've got frankincense, known as our king of oils, just an absolute powerhouse. Concentration, focus, incredible for immunity support. Zengest is a blend by dōTERRA, all things gut, and this breaks down mucus, so it's incredible for sinuses, for when we've overindulged. You've got my little collection you're getting to see that's kept on my desk, and that's a Zengest roller. So if you're feeling bloated, or you've eaten too much, or nervous tummy, for a young child, sometimes their tummy reflects the stress, and this is a beautiful thing to create in our house, what's called our tummy roller. Then breathe. Oh, breathe's amazing for grief. It's a very heart opening, letting go. Respiratory blend, amazing for chest. Yeah, so that's breathe. And then on guard is exactly that. It's our blend that helps us with boundaries. It's incredible for just boosting the immune system. We use it almost daily here. And I'm chuckling to myself because lastly, we have Deep Blue, which you can get in the bottle, 5 ml, it only comes in. But actually, it also comes in a stick, which is easy to use and on back of neck. And phenomenal for all things muscle, joints, pain. It helps with broken bones and that, strengthening bones. Fantastic. And I chuckle when I use this because, I mean, I've loved it, but I love variety. And I use them a lot. I mix for other people. But this set just allows you in your home to be so empowered. I've gone from my son seeing the doctor. He was under 6, but kind of once a month, once every 6 weeks with sinuses, nose, whatever, to we've seen the doctor twice in a year. And so I cannot tell you, I was so hesitant to spend the money on this. I cannot explain to you what a gift this has been for my peace of mind, for feeling empowered as a mother. I've been on my own health journey and continue on it, but these have been, that dōTERRA means gifts of the earth. I honestly can't express what a gift this has been to me. But if you're not interested in starting in the top 10, and you can reach out to me for prices and costs, there is the spring shed, and there's a whole lot of kits here. And you don't have to have oils for the spring shed. These are just extra support if people have them or people want to use them. But we've got deep blue around the joints, as I mentioned. Adaptives is capsules all around brain support. That might be anxiety, all that kind of stress. People are using them for exams to keep the brain online. Here we've got peppermint touch for hot flushes, head tension, bloating, and focus. Serenity is all things sleep. Meta power is all around helping support weight, metabolism, balance out our blood sugar and carvings. And I mean, if that's something serious for you, there's an entire meta power system with a collagen set and the gum, which I'm wanting to chew. But I'm talking to you, so I'm behaving myself. And I take and I've just started and seen a really fantastic improvement in meta power assist. And a big thing this month, if you spend over 200 points, and you can see the point values here, you can get 2,000. And actually, I can also get you a free on guard. I'm involved in something called Silver Club, 2,000, kind of 400 Rand if we add the on guard, gift free if you choose to spend that. And the kits the larger kits certainly would get you that free. So that's invitation to either join the spring shed on its own, or to choose to get the oils to support you as you go into the spring shed. There's all things deep blue. So this is 10% off this month. These are actually, you can't take deep blue internally as an oil, but this is specially mixed as a deep blue internal polyphenol complex. And I've heard lovely stories about people using it around pain, for older people when they're doing exercise, and amazing again for any kind of joint and healing around muscles and that. This is just an example of some of our range. You can see the frankincense, lavender, breathe, all come in the top 10 kits. And we can make up a custom kit if you want to have a conversation or consult with me around what will be best for you. Kapaba, amazing for the nervous system. And as a result, inflammation. So I have friends who've taken it for arthritis and had fantastic support. Here's Serenity. The moment we sold out of soft gels, but amazing for sleep support. Also, if you're interested in just changing out your shampoo or conditioners, and you want more natural, low toxic, purer products, we also have options here: skincare, toothpastes. I'm just sharing some of that. So really, to end, the invitation here is to commit to one thing for yourself. And maybe that's just something around going into nature, or how you're going to cultivate a new habit. But the thing about habits is they are the compound interest of self-improvement, James Clear says. But the reality is, if you can lay down one habit and it takes a year to get that habit ingrained, you get to start to benefit from that for the rest of your life. And so once you understand that habits can be changed, we have a freedom and a responsibility and a joy to embrace starting cultivating habits that you can feel proud of and excited about. And so the invitation is, reach out to me and or whoever shared the video with you to get in touch, and we can help you if you're interested in having the oils support you. I can honestly say they've been transformative for my nervous system and my support of stress levels, and as I say, little kids and my own health. But you might want to reach out to the Spring Shed with or without oils, and that begins on I think sign up has to be by the 25th of September. So reach out for those sign up details, which I'll share below. I hope this has been useful, and reach out for questions as well. I hope to connect with you. Have a beautiful day.